Hello everyone, and welcome to my new series, The Alternate Future of the World. This is a map of 2023, except for the Ukraine conflict, but we'll get to that later. Let's start off. 2023. Started off strong. Okay, well right now there's a conflict in Russia. We all know that. No one wants that to have been happening, and right now at the time, there's some dotted lines on border here. Let's get to the conflict in present day. Right now, in present day, let me change it to blue and red, hold on, there we go. This is kind of how the conflict is going right now. Germany and Ukraine against Russia and Belarus. I feel like next, at least in the later half of this year and next year, next will be Moldova. Next country to join will be Moldova, Georgia, and Poland on the side of Ukraine. And since these guys also don't want to be taken over, as now that more than 2 countries of NATO have now declared war on an entity, it starts a full range of every single NATO and EU member declaring war on Russia at one time. This time Kosovo declares war, which starts a heated argument between Serbia and Kosovo, which these guys all don't want to get involved, so they just kind of... Turkey actually takes a weird move and leaves NATO and turns against them. And Cyprus turns against Turkey after taking over northern Cyprus. Spain, Portugal, here, Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg, there's Denmark, UK, Ireland, Norway, Sweden, Iceland, Greenland, Canada, and the United States. Hold on, let me just fix it really quick where it's all right. Crap, that's wrong. Hardness, full tolerance, there we go, that's better. Hold on, I just gotta fix it all to make sure it's all the right color it needs to be. Here. Surprising turn of events. Switzerland declares war. It was the first time they declared war on anyone this is the first war they've had in over 200 years. This is very, very crazy. At this time, on the side of Russia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Uzbekistan. As Azerbaijan is allies with Turkey, but they're also allies with NATO. So they decide to, the country splits. So one side is this splits off to be with Turkey and Russia, while they split off. So Armenia also joins their side because they want to be on the stronger side. Iran declares war. Turkmenistan does not want to get involved. Tajikistan declares war. North Korea declares war, which at this time the US already has a strong presence in the Pacific. So that means Japan declares war, Australia declares war, New Zealand declares war, Fiji declares war, New Caledonia declares war, the Philippines declare war. You get my point. Taiwan declares war, but China does not want to get involved in this conflict because they already have enough internal conflict to deal with. They don't want to get involved in any external conflicts while they're still working on their internals. They really don't want to get into any sort of outside conflict, so they stay neutral for this war. So now it is World War III. As on the red side, we have these. On the blue side, we have these. As countries will join in later, but this is just how it's going right now. This is as of 2024. So, Russia starts to make a push into Donetsk and Crimea. They're already at a strong presence. So they connect their two fronts. And the Danube is right here. And Kiev is right here. So, Russia is trying to get to Kiev. At this time, Belarus starts to push southward in to Ukraine, as their major cities are Lviv and Kiev. They rhyme, but it's not intentional. As at this time, since Serbia cannot get any outside help, as they're completely on their own here, because Turkey and Russia are kind of busy. So Serbia doesn't get any sort of help from any of their allies and are quickly neutralized. And at this time, Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Armenia start to push in, taking over the rebel Azerbaijani state and pushing in. And over here, South Korea and Japan have been preparing for this war, as they quickly take over Pyongyang and all of North Korea except for this one spot, which is being held by Russia. But since Russia still hasn't really put that many troops into Siberia, because they're still working on their western front, they haven't been thinking about their eastern front. So it's quickly taken over as U.S. troops cross the Alaska Strait during winter. As these are trained troops from Alaska, so they know what they're doing in the winter of Siberia. One of the coldest places on Earth. As since Russia doesn't have any really real military presence in Siberia, it is quickly taken over. There's also rebels in this side of the country that feel not connected to the rest of the country. Sorry, my mic turned off mid-recording. But as I was saying, there are rebels in this side of the country that feel like they're not very connected. The Asian Russia doesn't feel like they're very connected to Western Russia. They push over into this part of Kazakhstan. As right now, Kazakhstan's army is here. Well, they are invading as their army is past this river. Well, they're invading on the other side of the river. As Kyrgyzstan does not have that much of an army, so they easily wipe out the country, and they capture the capitals of Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and push through. As they are now pushing in, and now they have a presence on the Caspian Sea. But then the Red armies are finally trained. The three countries are wiped out here, and Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and Kyrgyzstan are quickly revitalized. this time, Russia wasn't really thinking about Finland, but quickly retakes what Finland took from them. Estonia starts to become captured by the Russians as they move onto these islands. Kiev is captured, so was all of Estonia. They start their push into North Latvia. Belarus pushes into Lithuania, which is pretty hard for them because their capital is right here, which is where the rest of their army is. Kaliningrad starts a push into Poland and Lithuania at the same time, taking over former German areas, which is quickly stopped by the Germans, by the Polish, the Germans, and the Lithuanians, which quickly take over Kaliningrad. And now, since the Turkish army is not focusing on this spot as they're sending more troops into Iran and Russia, Istanbul is captured. And they start pushing and they take over the city of Emos on the west coast. As while they're doing that, Cyprus starts an invasion of South Turkey, capturing this peninsula and some of the Syrian border. At this time, speaking of Syria, Syria joins the war as well as Iraq on the side of Russia. Kuwait and Saudi Arabia combat this with joining on the American side. Yemen joins Russia, Oman joins America along with the UAE and Qatar. Jordan joins on the side of America, so does Israel. Palestine joins on the side of Russia. Lebanon joins on the side of America, same with Egypt. India joins on the side of America, while Pakistan joins on the side of Russia. Vietnam joins the war on the side of America. So does Thailand, while Laos and Cambodia join on the side of Russia. Bangladesh and Nepal join the war. Sri Lanka does, and so does Myanmar. South Africa joins the war. Sudan joins, but on the side of Russia. Ethiopia joins, Nigeria joins, Morocco joins. So does Western Sahara. Libya joins, so does these two. South Sudan joins on the side of America. Mexico joins on the side of Russia, actually. Same with Cuba. Bahamas on the side of America. Jamaica on the side of America. And so does all the Central American states except Nicaragua, which joins on the side of Russia. That's moving in South America. Colombia, and then Venezuela is against Colombia. They are against Venezuela, so are they and them. Brazil is against Venezuela. So is Peru and Ecuador. Bolivia joins on the side of the red, and so does Uruguay and Paraguay, and Chile join green and join blue, while Argentina joins red to combat the British, since they are their bitter rival. But Chile, for as then Antarctica, they take a bit of Antarctica with them. As most island nations join on the side of America. Hawaii joined the war, even though the rest of the country was already in it, but they wanted to join the war. Afghanistan joins on the side of Russia, as India rightfully takes their claim of all territories disputed with China. Which China still is going to be neutral about this, because they do not want to get into a conflict. Mongolia declares war on Russia. So does Turkmenistan, surprisingly. So, yeah. Now the sides have been determined. Let's just see how this war plays out. As now America having two enemies right on their border, troops are sent from California and Texas to take out the north of Mexico. and troops from Bahamas, Jamaica, and these countries come and take out the Yucatan Peninsula. As American troops come out of Guantanamo Bay and come in to Cuba. Cuba does not have that much of an army, and they quickly surrender over to America. Nicaragua also does not have much of an army, so they quickly surrender. As Mexico tries to make a push, which they push slightly in to Guatemala, but their attempts fail as Mexico City is taken and Mexico surrenders. Bolivia is invaded, but at this time none of the armies have really prepared for this. So most invasions in South America are quickly at a halt this time because none of their armies have really developed yet. So barely anything can actually be taken. Egypt, South Sudan, and Ethiopia quickly take out Yemen and Sudan and make a push into Libya. As Libya is, is very rebellious. So they rebel against themselves and get defeated. As Algeria is mostly desert, they quickly get taken over. Same with Tunisia. And Morocco does actually put up a fight in Western Sahara, retaking Algeria and parts of Libya, all of Tunisia, before being quickly retaken by the Blue. Belarus and Estonia is revived. As St. Petersburg is captured, so is Astana in Turkey, as they're just outnumbered, as the Blue outnumbers the Red in all regions where Red is present. The Siberians are still rebelling, so the rest of their countries, so are all the islands of Russia, they're rebelling too. I was rebelling against Russia because they feel like they're unfairly treated in comparison to the people on this side. So, and then troops arrive in Astana and quickly destroy the city. These guys don't really have that big of an army. Isfahan or something like that is right here. But their armies revived Georgia, took over Tehran, pushed over the Persian Gulf, and take over the city of Pakistan, connecting the Indian and Arabian fronts. They quickly take out Pakistan and Afghanistan. As Russia and Ukraine, as now the armies were ready, they were quickly outnumbered by the rest of South America. Ukraine is revitalized, and Russia capitulates and surrenders. I just gotta reset the map. It'll take just a few minutes to reset the map. Hold on. I kind of forgot about this step. the war is over, so all countries that were in the war leave the war. There's no point in being in a war if the war is already over. Okay, so let's see a peace treaty here. Let's see. So the peace treaty in this war. I finally need to change the color to better match the border color. Okay, so let's see. Let's start off in Europe. Belarus is turned into a free state as they are revoked of their oppressive government. Which I'm not trying to boo their politics, but just saying. Hungary gets their former lands back of Serbia. Romania splits up Serbia. Belgrade's here, so Kosovo is recognized as a country by every nation on this planet and gets land to prove it. Montenegro and Bulgaria also get land out of Serbia. There's Bosnia and Herzegovina and their rival Croatia get land out of Serbia for losing the war. I know it doesn't look exactly like the map, but it's just because it's kind of hard to do that on paint.net. Also, if you're wondering, that's how I do that. It's on paint.net. It's very fun and simple. This dotted line is taken out as Ukraine now permanently owned all lands that they owned. Also, Poland and Lithuania split up Kaliningrad, and this bit of land is given to Poland, as the rest of Belarus is also split up a little. This becomes Lithuania, this becomes Latvia, and this land becomes Ukraine. Ukraine is about to get really big in a second. Ukraine's about to get a lot bigger in just 1 second. As soon as I correct the borders here. Yep, perfect. Moldova and Ukraine unite into one nation. Also, thank you so much, guys, for sticking around to watch this video. I know it's a long one, but it's a series, and I want the first episode to go out with a bang. Ukraine. Okay, first of all, let's take our sides of these guys. Azerbaijan gets this land in exchange for giving this bit of land to Armenia. Georgia gets this bit of land, and Abkhazia and South Ossetia are fully recognized as part of Georgia. Ukraine gets all of this land out of Russia for losing this war. Russia is about to lose some more land too. This is just the start of it. This is just the start of the lands they're going to lose. They lose all of these lands. Also, Azerbaijan does lose a little bit of land in exchange for this bit of land, which is not that bad of a trade. So Russia after that loses the entirety of the Kola Peninsula, the city of St. Petersburg, which becomes a free city-state. Estonia gets these lands. Latvia gets these land. And the new free state of Belarus gets land as well. Mongolia gets land for their contribution to the war. Now they are one step closer to being part of the Mongol Empire. Japan gets lands for their contribution to the war, and so does the United States, getting a bit out of Russia. A new Siberian state is constructed out of Russia, which is this border, which also cuts this island, which makes this new Siberian state. Let's just make those corrections because it's simpler for the video if I make the corrections now instead of doing it later at the end where everything's confusing. Okay. As Russia is really getting punished for this war. Finland is very happy about this, getting their old land back, including more land. St. Petersburg is now its own country, which they're probably pretty happy about that. The Free City State of St. Petersburg. It's nice of them. This time, Turkmenistan also gets land out of Kazakhstan. Uzbekistan. They get all of Uzbekistan, except for this part, which is what's left of Uzbekistan. And then they also get this out of Afghanistan, this out of Iran. Now they're at it this bit of Tajikistan, all as one country. The one country of Tajikistan has now expanded to around 2 times their original size, as they're now a ginormous state. What's left of Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and also Kyrgyzstan unite into one state, as Pakistan and Afghanistan as they now unite. Gee, they don't do that. That's a bad idea. And then at this time, India gets Karachi and all land this side of the Pakistani border, which includes their capital cities and important cities like Karachi, which also dispute claims they finally fix those up with China after the war. China owns this, while India owns this. That kind of fixes up their border disputes. Also at this time, Bangladesh unites with India for safety. So that's nice for them. And then Cambodia is split up between Thailand, Myanmar, and Vietnam. Vietnam does not have to be a really weird shape anymore, as they finally get some actual land in the area of. So now they look closer to French Thailand, a former colony of France. They look more like that now. As India also looks a step closer to British Raj. Also, let's check out North Korea over here. North Korea is completely integrated into South Korea through the loss of the war. Also, Taiwan is recognized as a country by every country except for China because China didn't get involved. So, also this time Lesotho and Eswatini joined South Africa. It's not really that important for the context of the story, but that's something. And Venezuela is split up. Brazil gets the Panhandle. Guyana's claims, which are their country, are unified. Trinidad and Tobago actually gets some land, so now they're a South American country. And And then Colombia gets land too. Venezuela does still exist though. Also Colombia's panhandle makes a little more sense now instead of how it was before, where it was super duper small. So now it actually makes some sense. U.S. owns Cuba. Actually, yeah, U.S. owns most of Cuba. Jamaica gets this bit of Cuba. Haiti gets this bit of Cuba. The Bahamas gets this bit of Cuba. So yeah. Also, Guatemala. Guatemala gets this land. Guatemala gets these lands, while Belize gets this land, which is really good for their countries because they had very small areas of land and finally get to expand their territory. This time, Honduras and El Salvador unite into one country as they get the northern area of Nicaragua. Costa Rica gets the rest of Nicaragua, which is great for Costa Rica. And then let's look at Bolivia. Bolivia's land is split between Brazil, Peru, Paraguay, and Chile. Chile is about to be very happy after this war. So I'm gonna just have to erase that lake because it's a border and it would take so long for me to try to fix that. As this is what Bolivia looks like, which is now a puppet state of Brazil. Argentina is also at a large loss of land. They lose the south of their country and this bit of land, all to one nation, and that is Chile. Also, the Falkland Islands are now officially recognized by all nations as part of the United Kingdom and not part of Argentina. There's a lot of territorial disputes are fixed during that. Also, Guatemala releases their claims of Belize. So, yeah, that's nice for them. And then, Buenos Aires, or the area around Buenos Aires, becomes its own country, the free state of Buenos Aires. And Uruguay becomes bigger. Brazil finally fixes up that panhandle of theirs. And Paraguay gets this land out of Argentina. So, in the end of it, Argentina is greatly shrunk from their original land area. Also, South Sudan and Sudan no longer have any territorial disputes, as Egypt and South Sudan, as well as Ethiopia, carve up Sudan. Egypt also gets this bit of Libya, as Libya is split between a still pro-Russian state in the middle, while a more pro-American state on this side. Morocco relinquishes their claims to Ceuta and the other thing. And also, they give Spain back their old territory. France, Argentina. I mean, why do I keep calling Argentina? Algeria is also punished this war. Also, Western Sahara, independent now. There is no more territorial dispute about that. Also, Tunis is now a country again. Actually, no. That's part of Italy. This is France now. And these two are going to be united into one state, as well as this part of Libya are now united into one state because they wouldn't be able to really fend for themselves without their important parts of the country. So, yeah. Also, Yemen becomes part of Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia unites with Yemen, Oman, the UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, Jordan, Iraq, and that's it. to create Arabia, a new state, which also gets this bit of Iran and this bit of Pakistan, which they are very happy about because Saudi Arabia finally vanquished their long time rival, Iran. Which Iran still exists, but just they're smaller than they were. Also, everyone recognizes now that Palestine is part of Israel. So Lebanon becomes part of Israel. Syria becomes part of the new Arabian state. Turkey is also greatly punished. This becomes Bulgaria. The rest of it, including this, becomes Greece. And also all of this becomes Greece. This becomes Cyprus, and also there's no northern Cyprus that has been vanquished. This becomes part of the new Arabian state. This becomes part of Armenia. This becomes part of Georgia. The capital is still Astana, but they are greatly shrunk from their original size. Which is Cyprus is probably pretty happy about this, finally getting a lot of actual lands they can actually use to prosper. And yeah, that's completely it. That is the entirety of the future of the world. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll be uploading next week. I'll be doing this every Thursday. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Badster out.